Man, what's going on, world? Fuck it. Whole new minute. Matter of fact, whole new concept. Gotta get the new concepts. There we go. I don't know what to tell you, bro. It's the new concept right here. If you tapped in with the audio before, you would have tapped in with the Truancy hour. Right now, you got the Truancy minute. It's only gonna take a minute. Shouldn't take no damn hour. I used to sit there and record for an hour in the cut, but now we got access to the. We've always had access to the conference rooms, but I like being in the conference rooms, man. All right, rest in peace of Doom. Really know. Had to get extra with it. Oh, hold on. Bang. I got the shit on the hat, bro, and I got the patch on there. Let's go. So anyway, Truancy minute, whole new concept. I need to hook up the mic because for this one I'm gonna have to speak up. Normally I could just speak like low tone or whatever, but it's whatever, man. It's been I don't know. It's Christmas week. So got a lot of stuff lined up. I've been working since Sunday more or less. So Monday I had off. Actually, I had a dentist appointment, so that was a good break that I needed. Dentist appointment. I was chopping up with same dentist. I've worked with her for like I guess I normally schedule with her on Wednesdays, but for whatever reason I went for Monday because Wednesday would have been Christmas. So man, she was just updating me on about. She was crazy. I have this like kind of weird, like this sore. I call it like a little bump in my mouth, and it was like forming. She was like, "Yeah, that's gonna probably flare up sometime this week." And it's funny because like last dentist appointment 4 months ago, it's probably on this side. The sores were on this side, and I think during that appointment I had asked, I was like, "Am I just chewing too much on one side?" She's like, "That's probably what it is." And more than likely, I've been compensating and chewing on this side a lot. So I don't know. I just gotta balance it out, and then get back on my hygiene health because, need some hot tea, stay warm. I'm trying to stay off the coffee. I've been there's been a couple days this week where like, I'll have coffee. There's one particular day I had an energy drink, and I made sure to not have coffee that day. But energy drink was good because, it got me going. First 4 hours of the shift, just knocked everything out. Just kept zooming around 4 or 5 hours, just off the bang energy drink, just knocking shit out. But if I have a coffee on top of an energy drink, I can't sleep for the rest of the night. So I have to make sure I do one or the other. But I've been having trouble sleeping. I ain't gonna lie. So I've been, sleeping 4 or 5 hours type shit. And basically this week, what I got? So I had work. Monday was dentist appointment. Tuesday I had to work hella hard. Wednesday was yesterday, so it was Christmas Day. It wasn't too bad. And then today is Thursday, so today, because it's right after Christmas, it wasn't too bad either. So Christmas wasn't bad. Today wasn't too bad. Friday, my work's probably gonna be cut out for me, so we'll see how that plays out. I ain't too worried either way. Trying to give my body the rest it needs. So it's trying to, but also I'm trying to get home and then knock out some gameplay. Record some gameplay because let me turn this out. Hold on. Record some gameplay because I need to get as much documented content as possible. I'm trying to wrap up with DQ3, the remake, and then I gotta wrap up with DQ3, the remake, and then get on the Sapphire. The sooner I get the Sapphire, the better. You know what I'm saying? So that's just where I'm at with it. So it's that Truancy minute, any chance I get, I'm gonna, matter of fact, I'm gonna try it once a week, just whenever I can. Try to drop whenever I can, but had to find a little conference room. So if you used to be tapped into that old stuff, if you look up the Truancy hour, I'd record like 1 hour segments, and then sometimes I would be here. If I wasn't here, I would be outside just in public, and then like, I went from an hour to half an hour. I was like, this is the new format here. But I'm really only doing like a minute, man, because my own attention span, I can only do like, I don't know, whatever. You get like 10 minutes at a time, you know, because I feel like I got shit to do. I got so much shit to do where I'm like, I'm not trying to waste too much time just consuming content all the time unless it's creating my own. But for those that tapped in, man, I appreciate it. I will say this, because I thought about doing this. I still might do it. I might add a second segment if I have time today or tomorrow. But, you know, in regards to those who are, you know, grieving people during these holidays, it's it ain't easy, man. You know, I know about one or two people who lost a parent this year. Actually, I probably know more than that. I mean, in the past 3-4 years, there's been a lot of people losing at least one or two parents, and but more than likely one parent. You know, if they hadn't already not been in contact with one of the other parents, if that makes sense. And you know, a lot of times they'll sit there and say, "I remember that shit you were telling me like 2 years ago when it happened to you," and because I lost my mom 2 years ago, and they're like, "I'm starting to understand what you're feeling, what you went through," and I was like, just be patient with yourself and, you know, reach out to me at any point if you need someone to talk to. Like, if you really need someone to talk to, just talk to me because, you know, I'm not trying to make it by myself, but I'll do my best to talk to you through it because, you know, you gotta understand the first year when my mom died, it was like, she died in May. So the amount of, you know, think about this, like 4th of July to like the end of summer to like election time and, you know, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, like all of these are like holidays or like markers in the year that I didn't have to spend with her, or like, not that I was spending those holidays with her necessarily, but you got to think it's like you anticipated, all right, make sure she's at home, she's safe, you know, things are okay, there's no fireworks going her direction, etc., you know, things like that. You know, you make sure there's no kids knocking on the door on Halloween that are, like, you know, trying to take advantage, you know, just you think of shit like that when you have people you're taking care of. So, you know, it's interesting in regards to those that are grieving people during these holiday times. It's like, if you've lost someone, you're always going to think of them, but it gets easier with time, but you never don't stop thinking about them. You know, you never stop thinking about them. And that was crazy. I remember the year my mom had passed, I ended up picking up a lot of overtime because I wanted to pay off these funeral expenses. So it was interesting because this one dude I used to work with, he was in a different department now, and he's a silly guy, but randomly one of my coworkers in my department slipped up and said, "Oh yeah, you know, James' mom's passed away." And then when he got back to the department, he told me, he said, "Man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm sorry, bro. I kind of slipped up and told, you know, so and so that your mom had passed." And I was like, "Man, that's cool. I appreciate it. It's not like you were saying it from a bad place." But anyway, the person he had said it to, it's my guy from Vegas, so he I'm delivering on like the floors and shit. And I'm like doing my rounds, and then I'm like, I don't remember what the fuck I'm doing. I'm either doing my rounds, doing a count, or I'm delivering. But he just stops me because like I'm getting out the elevator and he's in the elevator hallway, and he was like, "Oh shoot, man, I've been wanting to run into you because I want to give you my condolences. I know I never met her, etc. What do up?" And he started explaining to me. He said, "Man, I lost my mom 25 years ago, so I just wanted to reach out and talk to you about you know, if there's any questions you had about it, or you just want someone to talk to about it, man, you can talk to me because I know what that feeling is like." And I just told him, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, man, it's like, I'm obviously sad, but I'm like working. So I'm trying to just like I'm not trying to tough it out. I'm just like having to do what I have to do, like just duties and shit. But when does that heavy feeling go away? And he's like, it don't go away. It just always be there. You know, it's like, it's always gonna be there. It gets, you get used to carrying the load, and, you know, I was telling him, I was like, there's so much stuff that I wish I had. Like, there's things that I'm thinking about every day. Like, things I'm seeing on TV that I want to say to my mom, things that I see on my phone that I want to show her. And I'm just thinking about things I would have said to her. And it sucks because I'm not getting a chance to say these things to her. Like, everything I needed to say, I've said it to her in person while she was alive, you know. But, like, the new things that show up on, like, new music, I want to show her some stuff. New videos that drop of people just, like, cooking or something like that. I want to show her that shit, and I can't. And I went through the same thing with my grandpa, and he was like, you know what's interesting? He said, 25 years, like, there's a lot of things I always wanted to say to my mom, too, that kept happening, but didn't get a chance to. So he was kind of giving me, I don't want to say reassurance, but he was just letting me know, like, yeah, that's what happens. You know, there's these things where, you know, you want to say things to her, and you find yourself talking to yourself, and that's okay. You know, you'll find yourself talking to yourself. It's really interesting. Um, and I find myself thinking and talking to myself a lot. It's really weird. Um, but not to get too off base, it's like, it had me thinking the other day because I was talking to someone about something similar, and I was like, man, bro, anything that like, you know, you think about that you want to say to someone, you gotta just call that person, And I don't like. Part of me is like, I don't give a damn if it's like someone needs to be told the truth. Like if I got a relative that damn near has a drinking addiction, but part of me is like, I'm the type of asshole that I'll call them and let them know you probably should slow the fuck down. Like I'm that type of cousin. But at the same time, just because I thought about them doesn't mean I have to go there. Does that make sense? So I'm just like aware of shit like that where I'm like, I know some people need help. And not like if I had a drinking addiction and someone told me that shit, I'd be okay with it because I'm okay with rolling with the punches. And I'm like, I'm sensitive, but I'm not too damn sensitive to be snapping on people like that. If that makes sense. Like I'm sensitive to like my surroundings type shit and like the energy and the empathy of people's feelings in the room. But like I guess being sensitive about like certain things, like I'm not too sensitive. Like I have my certain sensitivities, if that makes sense. But I know I can be the type of person that you could probably talk to and say all type of shit, but we got to be close. Like, you can't just be coming out the woodwork. Like, I don't even fucking know you when you're talking crazy. Like, you can't do that shit. But, you know, like I said, if you're thinking about someone, just talk to them because you might not get the chance to say the things that you might want to say or share with them. Like, a new song, like, you might hear a new song or just, like, play a song in general and just think about someone and just let them know, like, hey, this is, just share the song with them. Just send them the link. You don't got to get too sappy, but even if you think about them just for that second, just reach out to them, just text them, just call them. Most people don't pick up the phone anyway. So just text these people, Most people are fucking losers that just text. That's like 90% of people just be texting them. So 90% of people are losers. So, but I'm a phone call type motherfucker, man. But I ain't gonna lie, like on the holidays, I texted everybody because I was like, man, people are probably spending time with their kids. So I'm like, I'm about to just fucking text people. But I'm the type of person, I do a phone call. If I fuck with you, I'll call you on the phone. So there's a lot of missed calls from me on people's phones because motherfuckers losers, but it's whatever. Because even though, like, you're a goofball like that, I still love you and I'm going to call you. And that's just the type of person I am. But again, I've been dealing with grief since the longest, you know. Like, the year I was born was also the same year that my grandma had died. So I never got a chance to meet her. I was a baby in a household that was grieving. So it's a weird full circle moment where it's like, at the time, my grandma had died in 93. And then I'm born, and then the whole household is grieving, and then now it's 2020, back in 2022, my mom died, so it's like the household is grieving, whatever's left of us, and that's what that same full circle feeling is like when the women die, man, it's a whole another feeling. But in regards to those, man, that are grieving people on the holidays, bro, I know there's some shit you want to say to them, but, every time you speak to yourself and you speak, those words into your heart, it's like, to some degree, you still are speaking to them. However you want to look at that, however you want to accept that. But more importantly, there are people who are still alive who might be dealing with that grief differently too. And maybe you should speak with them, not necessarily about the grief, but just in general, just talk to them, let them know that there's someone that's worth speaking to. Because a lot of people don't get talked to a lot. A lot of people don't get reached out to a lot, man. So don't make the holidays about yourself and your grief, man. You ain't the only one going through shit. And if you actually are by yourself, man, ooh. Hey, man, God bless, man. I don't know what to tell you. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not an expert. I'm just rambling. But listen, dog, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. I got to clock out. I'm out of here, bruh.